Welcome back to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. You search Locked On Sports Atlanta. This segment of the show brought to you by our friends at Athletic Greens. Some quick Brave news before we get to the Falcons here, and a bit of NFL news as well. But Matt failed to mention that Ronald Acuna fouled that ball off his foot on Saturday. Right now, obviously he missed last night's game. It's called a bone bruise. It's not broken. The Braves have an off day today on Monday before they take on the Phillies in Philadelphia tomorrow. So we'll see what the status is and if any of this requires a stint on the injured list for Acuna at this point in time. And look, honestly, it's not a good time for the Braves to lose Acuna. Part of the reason why that 14-game win streak happened was because Acuna really turned it on. And he's a critical part of what they do offensively. He's a critical part of everything that they do. But still, this is a bad time to lose him after you did all that work to get above 500 and stay above 500 and give yourself the breathing room you needed to start calling this thing a race. It's a bad time to lose your best offensive player. And that's something that the Braves absolutely have to be concerned with at this point in time because if the last thing you want to do is have this thing go south by the All-Star break. Remember what I told you last time about all the players that were traded and how things are going to shape up in the All-Star break and how many moves that may be made prior to the trade deadline with the extra playoff spot and everything. Not a good time to be trending in the wrong direction. So let's keep our fingers crossed that Acuna gets back sooner rather than later and doesn't require a stint on the injured list. He says he can't put pressure on his foot. That's never a good sign. So we'll see what happens with Acuna going forward. Before we get to the Atlanta Falcons as well, Tyler Matzik started his rehab assignment, so he could be on his way back sooner rather than later. Let's see if he can get back with the ball club before the All-Star break. Okay. What is the Falcons' best move this offseason? Well, according to Josh Kendall of The Athletic, because all the Athletic writers were asked what each team's best move was. It was signing veteran quarterback Marcus Mariota. And obviously, after trading Matt Ryan to the Colts, they turn around quickly and get Mariota and solve the problem. Who's going to play QB, this, that, and the other. And at least they get a familiar face from Arthur Smith's perspective and somebody he knows and has worked with. And it at least gives some stability, right? You're not heading into the season wondering what the issue is. You're not. You don't have as much instability right now at quarterback as the Cleveland Browns do. You don't have as much instability at quarterback as the Carolina Panthers do, where things are literally a toss-up. I mean, again, Arthur Smith has not said one way or another whether he wants this to be an open competition. By all signs point to Mariota being the guy, but we'll have to wait and see officially what that looks like going forward because it really is one of those moves that was smart to do. Look, Mariota, as much as he is and I'll be generous in calling him capable, because I think that is generous. I don't know that Mariota is very capable as a quarterback. He's serviceable. Capable might be more than generous. That said, he's a likable guy. He's good on camera, and he is somebody that people can gravitate towards that feels like a leader. Right? It eliminates a lot of the other questions that come around. And from that standpoint, I think it was a good choice to fill in what was a huge void for their quarterback in Matt Ryan. And that, to me, I think is something that was needed. Even though I'd question the leadership, where is it going to come from? And, what players are going to represent the leadership on this team? Well, Mariota might not be the biggest rah-rah guy, but at least he's a guy that has the respect of his teammates and always will because of the way he conducts himself. So to a certain extent, yeah, I get what Josh Kendall, the Athletic, is saying. I hope that's not the best move they make all season. I hope that when we look at the end of the season and we get there, we realize that, yeah, that wasn't the best move. This was really the better move, the one we didn't expect. And we actually got some positive dividends out of, because I don't know that you'll get positive dividends out of Mariota. Like I said, serviceable, capable, might be aggressive for me at this stage of Mariota's career. I don't know if we'd call him capable. Like Baker Mayfield is capable, which, by the way, nobody knows where the hell he's going. It's still up in the air. And I'm waiting to see how that whole thing plays out. Because if Carolina hasn't made a move for him yet, or Seattle hasn't made a move for him yet, I'm not sure what they're waiting, unless they are just holding out as long as they can until the Cleveland Browns actually cut him. That's the only thing left to think that is the move, is that they're waiting for him to be cut and then they'll pick him up immediately. So, but the Cleveland Browns, despite what's going to happen to Deshaun Watson, and we'll have some information on him coming up here in just a moment, despite what happens to Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield is not going to be quarterbacking for the Cleveland Browns. Now, what's the deal with Watson? I'll tell you that here in just a minute, but first, a good word from our friends from Athletic Greens. If you guys are looking to improve your gut health, your overall health, and your immune system, well, you can do it with just one delicious scoop of AG1. That's Athletic Greens ones, absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source superfoods and probiotics and adaptogens to help you start your day right. The special blend of ingredients support your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy recovery focus, aging, all the things that you need. And right now, to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/MLB network to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Athletic Greens 1. All right. Hearing for Deshaun Watson is going to start on Tuesday, is what we're seeing right now. The disciplinary hearing for the NFL is going to start on Tuesday. What that looks like and how long that goes, I'm not really sure at this point in time. But I would tell you, my guess is that, and I talked to a couple of people on this, but the suspension is going to be labeled as indefinite. Now, why would the suspension be labeled as indefinite? Well, the suspension will be labeled as indefinite because it gives the NFL all the wiggle room it needs. It allows the civil suits and everything to play out. And if it turns out that he is found guilty in the civil suits, well, they can leave him out for at least a year and worry about reinstatement next offseason. If it turns out that the civil suits are thrown out, the accusers don't win it and everything else, oh my God, he's been completely exonerated on all counts. Guess what? We can bring him right back in when he applies for reinstatement, when he's told to apply for reinstatement. So the indefinite suspension gives the NFL all the flexibility in the world that they need to navigate this thing. And it's super important that they understand that they want to be able to navigate this in the mind of the public eye and how they're going to perceive it. Because right now, nobody is perceiving this well, and they shouldn't. Because as I've said repeatedly, at very, very best, Deshaun Watson is the creepiest guy you've ever known, and you want him nowhere near any female that you know, period. At worst, he's a serial predator and deserves to be behind bars. None of those are really either good. So that's what you're looking at with Deshaun Watson. And the NFL knows they have to navigate this optically in a way that looks like they've done the right thing. And that is to let the rest of the other processes play out and sort of make your decision based off of that. So we'll have more tomorrow on the hearings, if they and when they get underway, if we can get some reports from it, but certainly something we're going to be monitoring very, very closely. All right. Wimbledon is underway. And coming up next, why did the government get involved in Wimbledon? Because I thought politics and sports weren't supposed to mix. I'll tell you that next, coming up on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. You search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Be right back.